A man entered the police station in the middle of the night, his clothes clean, his face expressionless, and his eyes empty. He walked over to the desk, leaned forward slightly, and said in a calm, steady voice, "I think I killed someone." At first, the officer thought it was a joke, or maybe a drunk man seeking attention, but there was something about the way he said it. No hesitation, no fear, just certainty. The man identified himself as Daniel Harper, a 32-year-old who had lived in the town for nearly 5 years. No criminal record, no history of violence, nothing that would raise suspicion. And yet, here he was, calmly confessing to murder. They brought him into an interrogation room. The camera started recording. The questions began. And Daniel started talking, slowly, clearly, and with disturbing precision. He described a woman, her age, her height, the way her hair fell just past her shoulders. He said they met at a local grocery store. A normal conversation turned into something more. Over the next few days, they spent time together. But then, something changed.
Over the next few days, they spent time together. But then, something changed. According to Daniel, an argument broke out. It escalated quickly. Voices raised, emotions spiraled. And then, in a moment he claimed he couldn't control, he killed her. The room went silent. The officers exchanged glances. This was no longer a joke. Daniel continued. He described how it happened, where it happened, even what he used. His story was detailed, too detailed, the kind of detail that doesn't come from imagination. He even told them where they could find the body. That was enough. Within hours, a search team was dispatched to the location Daniel had described, a quiet, wooded area just outside the town, the kind of place no one really goes. It took hours of searching, then days. They dug, they scanned, they combed every inch of the land, but they found nothing. No body, no blood, no sign that anyone had ever been there. Back at the station, the investigation intensified. Detectives started looking for missing persons that matched the description Daniel had given. They checked local records, then expanded to nearby towns, then the entire state. Weeks passed, still nothing. No reports, no family searching, no one missing.
It was as if the woman Daniel described had never existed. But Daniel didn't change his story, not once. Every time they questioned him, he repeated the same details, the same timeline, the same chilling calmness. He never asked for a lawyer, never tried to defend himself. He simply confessed, again and again, to a crime that had no evidence. Psychologists were brought in. They sat across from him, trying to understand what was happening inside his mind. Some believed he was suffering from a rare mental condition, one that blurred the line between reality and imagination. They suggested that Daniel truly believed he had committed the crime, even if it never happened, but not everyone agreed. Some investigators felt something was off. Daniel didn't act like someone confused or delusional. He was consistent, controlled, aware. There were no contradictions in his story, no hesitation, no signs of someone losing grip on reality. If he was lying, he was doing it perfect. Months passed, the case grew colder. Without a body, without a missing person, without any physical evidence, there was nothing to charge him with. The legal system couldn't hold a man based on a confession alone, especially when there was no proof that a crime had even occurred. And so eventually, Daniel Harper was released. He walked out of the station the same way he walked in. Daniel Harper was released. He walked out of the station the same way he walked in. But the story didn't end there. Years later, a retired detective revisited the case. Something about it never sat right with him. He went back through the files, the recordings, Daniel's statements, and that's when he noticed something strange. A detail, a small one, but important. In one of the early interrogations, Daniel had mentioned a specific necklace the woman was wearing, a unique design, not something common. At the time, it meant nothing. But years later, the detective came across a missing persons case from another state, filed just weeks before Daniel's confession. The missing woman had been last seen wearing a necklace that matched Daniel's description exactly. Same design, same detail, but the case had never been connected.
Why? Because the timelines didn't perfectly match. The locations were different, and there was still no body, still no proof. The discovery reopened questions, but not the case. Legally, it was still closed. There wasn't enough to act on. Just another coincidence or something far more disturbing. To this day, no one knows the truth. Did Daniel Harper imagine the entire crime? Did he create a victim inside his own mind? Or did he do something far worse?